Traveling with kids can be the ultimate adventure, or it can feel like herding cats through a jungle. Want to skip the chaos and create family memories you treasure forever? Stick around because today we're diving into the 10 mistakes parents make when traveling with kids and how to avoid them.
I'm Christina. I'm a traveler, a planner, and most importantly, a mom. I'm sharing my best tips to make traveling as a family a little less stressful. So put down your phone, pack your bags, and let's showcase the world.
Hi there, I'm Christina. I'm the owner of Showcase the World Travel, a modern travel agency dedicated to helping families take a break from the busy. And I'm a mom myself, and it's so important to me to travel the world with my daughter and to have her experience different cultures and, learn some of the things like flexibility and cultural curiosity and that lifelong love of learning. Over the years, I've planned hundreds of trips for families. I've also learned a lot from my own experiences, not only traveling with my daughter, but traveling with my nieces and nephews as well. Today, I'm sharing the 10 most common mistakes families make when traveling with kids and my best tips for avoiding them. By the end of this video, my goal is for you to feel ready to plan your family's next getaway with confidence and ease. If you're looking for even more inspiration, don't miss my guide, 18 Summers, our 18 favorite family destinations organized by age. It's packed with tips to help you choose the perfect destination for your family. I'll tell you how to grab your copy at the end of the video. Number one mistake, and this is one that I used to make myself, I learned from my own mistakes, is overpacking the itinerary. It's so tempting to try to cram in every site and activity when you're traveling with kids. But trust me, less is more. Overscheduling can lead to cranky kids and stressed out parents. Instead, choose one or two key activities per day and leave room for rest or spontaneous fun. Which leads into number 2 is not having a well thought out but flexible plan. While it's important to not overpack the itinerary, you also don't want to show up without a plan. A loose structure with built-in flexibility is key. Research your destination, plan for downtime, and have a list of backup activities in case of bad weather or meltdowns. So one of the things that we do for our clients at Showcase the World is to, first of all, encourage them not to overpack the itinerary. When they come to me and they want to cram everything in, we kind of try to say, okay, what is the number one priority for today? Let's book that. And then let's think about what's around that area. So maybe after a scavenger hunt through the Louvre, your kids need to get away from the museum, right? You don't want to then send them into the Musée d'Orsay and get more art and, not having an outlet for that energy. So once they've done a scavenger hunt through the museum, I like to say, okay, this is what's around the area. Maybe you let them run around in the Tuileries Garden. Maybe you do this, maybe you do that. Maybe you walk over to Notre Dame if they're still feeling like you can get some history in. Maybe you do this. These are some things in the area that you can kind of feel out how you're doing. So they're not things that are important if they're not like make or break things that you need to have on your trip. So if the Notre Dame is like the number one priority for you, then we'll build that into the itinerary. But if you're like, yeah, it'd be great if we got inside, then what we'll do is say, okay, you're at the Louvre, it's a short walk over to Notre Dame. This would be a good time to put that in. But if your kids need to run around, let them run around. If your kids need to go back to their room for a nap, let them go back and take a nap. Having a well thought out but flexible plan is something we love putting together for families at our agency. Mistake number 3 is not including hands-on workshops or experiences. Kids thrive on interactive experiences, and they're much more likely to remember a pasta making class in Italy or a pottery workshop in Greece than a day spent in museums or shuffling from site to site. So I like to incorporate at least one workshop, if not more, into every itinerary that lets them get their hands dirty and engage their curiosity. So I mentioned that scavenger hunt on the Louvre. I talked about the Musée d'Orsay. So we're going to Paris with my daughter in a couple of months, and we have one day where we're going to do that scavenger hunt in the Louvre. which is a really cool experience. I wouldn't consider it hands-on, but it is a unique experience that there's a lot of companies who offer it, but only one who does it really, really well. And then a couple days later, we are going to go see the Musée d'Orsay. We're going to do, a shorter tour there, about an hour, and then we're going to do a workshop where she learns how to paint like the Impressionists. So it brings that art to her. She loves art, and we're going to get her hands dirty in that workshop. Some other workshops that we love doing in every country are cooking classes. She loves cooking classes. We have some great fashion experiences, especially for teens. So there's a video here that you might want to check out if your teen is into fashion and you want those hands-on workshops or experiences. There's really, really great ways to get your kid actually engaged in the story of a destination, not just the boring history and the shuffling from site to site. Mistake number 4 is sticking too rigidly to a schedule. Travel is unpredictable, especially with kids. Flights get delayed, nap schedules shift, and sometimes your little one just needs a break. Be prepared to pivot and embrace the unexpected. A lot of times I've traveled with parents before who have to keep their toddler on their strict nap schedule, even though the timing is different. You're not ready for a nap at that time, or they're ready for a nap earlier and not wanting to let go of that schedule. You know your kids best and you know what's best for them, but really some flexibility is really important when it comes to travel. Same thing with food. That same parent that I traveled with was very insistent on, sticking to the healthy dinner, not wanting their child to eat pasta every single night of our trip in Italy. We were traveling with a couple of families, so one of the toddlers only eats pasta even at home, and one does eat a little bit more of a variety, but he didn't want pasta on the table for her to see and want that over the fish we were eating or whatever it was. So it's really important to be flexible with the schedule and with food, because it's going to lead to a much more enjoyable experience. Kids can be picky eaters, and trying new foods can feel intimidating. Making food a part of the adventure by finding familiar items on the menu or packing snacks from home can really, really help. If all else fails, don't stress about sticking to mealtime norms. My daughter loves traveling because she says rules go out the window and she can eat ice cream for dinner. And, sometimes ice cream for dinner is the best option to keep that flexibility and to avoid meltdowns. We were just recently in Universal with my daughter, and I was, fighting with her to eat every meal. We were at Disney and then we spent a day at Universal, fighting with her to eat, and I'm fighting with her to eat. And like chicken fingers, I'm fighting with her to eat chicken fingers. Will you just eat something? You eat something with protein. Will you eat something that's not full of sugar? And it was a struggle for the first couple of days. The last day, I was like, she's barely been eating anything. We're going to split a half chicken at Universal, and I was doing some work on my phone, and I looked up and she'd eaten the whole half a chicken. And she asked if we can go back to that quick service restaurant for dinner, and we did, and she ate a whole other half chicken. So even though she didn't eat well the first 4 days, she ate when she needed to, and it's really about embracing that. And I'm just thinking about all the fights I could have avoided if I was a little bit more flexible with what she was eating and, creating that environment for her. Another mistake is moving around too much. Trying to visit 5 cities in a week might sound like a great way to see it all, but it's exhausting. Choose fewer destinations and spend more time in each place to really soak in the experience and avoid constant packing and unpacking. A great way to get around this is a river cruise. There are some great ones out there. I'm going to link to a video I did on the best river cruises for families. I much prefer a river cruise because you do get that closer experience. You're in one country for a while. Ocean cruises, you're in Rome for about 6 hours and you just can't do a whole lot. You can do a ton in 6 hours in a little town in Germany though, and it just brings the city much more to life than, some of those bigger cruises that have short time in port. Mistake number 7 is ignoring kids' opinions during planning. A lot of families like to surprise their children, or they just want to plan something and not involve the kids, but not involving kids in the planning process can lead them to feeling bored or uninterested. Even small decisions like choosing activities or snacks can help make a big difference. Giving them a say makes them feel invested in the trip and can help reduce resistance when it's time to head out for the day. One of the things that I love to do is think about planning a day for every member of the family. So if there's something that is on the top of the list, then they have their day where that thing on the top of their list gets accomplished. So I like to come up with a top 3 for everybody. What are the top 3 things you want to do? I look and see where there's overlap for the family, and we kind of check those off as things that we all want to do. And then we have individual days. So say that in Amsterdam, I really want to visit the Rijksmuseum, and that is the number 1 on my list. Well, I'm going to say, okay, this is my number 1. We're going to do this today, whether you want to or not, because it's for me. And then we're going to do this thing for you that is the theme park, or, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a cheese tasting for my husband. Whatever it is, you get to kind of move through, okay, this was your day, and now my day is next, or this is my day and you're going to have your day coming up. It kind of gets through some of that resistance a little bit more. Number 8 is underestimating the power of a pool. This is a huge mistake I made when I first started in the industry. I'm like, why is the pool important? Like, you're in Italy. Like, you can swim at home. Man, was I wrong. A simple hotel pool can be the highlight of a trip for many kids. In fact, the rooftop pool at our hotel in Florence, my daughter is still talking about. After long sightseeing days or travel delays, a pool offers a chance to relax and burn off energy. So don't underestimate how much a few hours in the water can bring joy to your little travelers. Mistake number 9 is skipping museums because you think your kids will be bored. Many parents skip museums, assuming kids won't enjoy them. However, many museums have kid-friendly exhibits or hands-on activities that make learning fun. We have an incredible partner who creates unique experiences at a lot of these places. My daughter absolutely adored their scavenger hunt through the Uffizi Gallery. We're going to be doing their scavenger hunt through the Louvre, their puzzle books, and they make learning so much fun. Research ahead and find interactive elements and be prepared to explore at their pace. When you book a trip with Showcase the World Travel, one of the emails that we send for most European cities is our favorite museums and what kid activities that they have that you can enjoy. So this could be something that you do as that kind of backup thing. Like, okay, we don't have the Victoria and Albert Museum in our London priorities, but hey, we're Kensington Gardens. The kids just ran off some energy. Like, let's pop into the museum because there's bad weather. Let's pop into here, and we know that they have these interactive elements that our kids can enjoy. I made this mistake on my daughter's first big international trip to Greece when she was 2.5, thinking that, she's not going to enjoy being in the museum, but they had torrential downpours in Athens to the point where there was so much flooding that they closed all of the government operated sites. So the Parthenon was closed. A bunch of museums were closed. Anything that you could really do in Athens was closed. Fortunately, I worked with a DMC. I'm going to put a link to a video I did on DMCs, the destination management company. These are the incredible partners that we have in country, that they only work with travel advisors. So if it is something that you're interested in, many of them only work B2B. So you would work with a travel advisor. We would connect with an in-country partner of our choosing we have a lot of preferred partnerships, people we work with over and over again that we know can deliver. And I was able to call up my in-country contact and say, hey, you see what's going on. We can't get on our catamaran today because of the wind. We have a day in Athens we didn't plan for. We can't go to the Parthenon. We can't do these things. Can you recommend something? And she ended up sending us to a private museum. And I'm like, okay, well, that's all we can do. We can't swim in the pool. It's an outdoor pool. We can't, otherwise we're stuck in our hotel room, so we might as well go to this museum. She connected us with an incredible guide who was so kid-friendly. And when I ask my daughter what she remembers about our trip to Greece, she's 6 now, she'll say custard because the chef on our catamaran would run out and grab her custard every morning because she knew that that's what she loved eating. Talk about flexibility with food. I let my daughter eat custards for 4 meals out of the day. It's egg and protein, right? There might be a lot of sugar, but that's what she was eating. So I let her eat custard, and she talks about the man goat. And the man goat was in this private museum, and we had gone through a lot of the history of ancient Greece, a lot of the mythology, and the one that she remembered was the statue of Pan, and the guide telling her about the statue and the god, the man goat. And so she talks about the man goat and the custard and picking rocks at the Parthenon, right? So don't skip museums because you think they will be bored. You know, that is now the highlight for my daughter on any trip. She loves museums. She loves art. And it's not something I would think that I would expose her to until later, because I thought she was too young to enjoy it. And now I mentioned the Louvre and the Orsay that we're going to be doing coming up. She talks about art as being subjective, and she gets really into a lot of things that she's getting me into art in a way that I never have appreciated before. I was the type of person who was like, all right, let me go to the Louvre. I've seen I've seen this, I've seen that. Okay, I'm good. Now she's getting me interested in the art styles and all of those things, because we stumbled into a museum one time and now we go to them whenever we can. The last mistake that parents make when planning a family vacation is not taking time for yourself. Traveling with kids doesn't mean you can't enjoy some downtime. Whether it's booking a hotel with a kids club or trading off with your partner, make sure to carve out moments to relax and recharge. I love working with family-friendly properties that keep babysitters, a list of vetted babysitters at the concierge in Europe. There's some incredible kids clubs at the resorts that we work with in the Caribbean. Whether it's picking a dinner destination for you, including something that's on your must-do list that you think that your kids aren't going to enjoy, make sure you do something for yourself, because it is the family vacation. And as last I checked, you are a part of the family. That is a big part of our mission at Showcase the World, is to ensure that mom gets to enjoy her vacation too, because she's not stressed about all the planning. It's taken care of for her. She has emergency lines, so she doesn't have to worry about what happens if something goes wrong. And we encourage her to plan something for herself. So if you're curious about specific kid-friendly destinations or need tips for flying with kids, check out our other videos. We've linked some in the description that we think will be helpful. Also in the description is the free guide, 18 Summers, our 18 favorite family destinations organized by age. So it's going to recommend at the beginning our favorites for toddlers, moving into grade school, all the way up to those hard to impress teens. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with other parents planning their next trip. Let's make traveling with kids fun and stress-free. Until next time, don't forget to take a break from the busy.
Need help planning your next family vacation? Visit us at showcasetheworld.com to request a quote or schedule a free vacation consultation. Want more great travel tips? You'll find those there too.